Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm David Weaver, the Executive Director of the Ohioana Library Association. Thank you for joining us for tonight for the official kickoff of the 16th Annual Ohioana Book Festival. It's my pleasure to be your host and to be able to do this from the wonderful studios of the Ohio Channel. So let me start with a big thank you to Dan Schellenberger and the Ohio Channel production team. We're going to have some fun tonight, taking a look at what's in store for you this weekend at the festival. But first, a little explanation as to why we are virtual for the third year. When we presented the festival online for the first time in 2020, due to the pandemic, we thought it would just be for that 1 year, that by the time we celebrated the festival's 15th anniversary in 2021, we'd be live again. But as you know, that didn't happen. And as we were planning the 2022 festival in January, it was right in the middle of the Omicron outbreak. So we decided our first priority once again was to keep everyone safe. So here we are once more, joining hands virtually and celebrating our mutual love of books, reading, and Ohio authors. And if I may say so, we think we put together a great festival. 3 days of fun for readers of all ages. We couldn't have done it without the generous support of a number of organizations from across Ohio, and I'd like to thank them. Ohio Humanities, the Greater Columbus Arts Council, the Reinberger Foundation, Honda, the State Library of Ohio and the Institute for Museum and Library Services, the Ohio Arts Council, Aerial Corporation, Nationwide Children's Hospital, Voorhees Seder Seymour and Peace, and Margaret Wong and Associates. Our thank you to all of them. And to our media sponsors and partners, the Columbus Dispatch, CD 92.9 FM, Kraft and WCBE, MGN, Voice Corp, and of course, the Ohio Channel. Thanks also to our main program partner and host, Columbus Metropolitan Library. We hope to be back there live in 2023. And to our official bookseller, the Book Loft of German Village. You can get copies of all the titles at this year's festival online at bookloft.com. And a portion of every purchase you make goes to support Ohioana. I'm happy to say also that the Book Loft has generously provided 25 online gift codes to use on their website. We'll announce the winners from tonight's audience in just a little while. And we have a couple of special guests tonight, but before I bring them on, let's take a look at what's coming up tomorrow, Friday, the first day of the 2022 Ohioana Book Festival. It all starts at 10 a.m. with Building a Mystery. All of you mystery lovers out there will enjoy that. At 11, Buckeye True Crime, followed at 12 noon by Telling True Stories in Children's Books, followed at 1 p.m. by All Are Welcome, Celebrating Diversity. At 2 p.m., it's Exploring New Worlds for all of you fans out there of sci-fi and fantasy. At 3 p.m., we celebrate National Poetry Month with 4 poets, moderated by Ohio's Poet Laureate, Carrie Gunter Seymour. Then at 4 p.m., Journey to the Past, historical fiction. And at 5 p.m., Love at First Sight, all about young adult romance. We've got a very special program then at 7 p.m. to wrap the day up, Pajama Story Time with Michelle House. That's both a virtual and live program with our friends at Cover to Cover Books. So as you can see, from mystery to history, picture books to poetry, we like to say there's something for readers of all ages at the Ohioana Book Festival. You see on your screen behind me, the colorful and gorgeous official poster for the 2022 Ohioana Book Festival. Each year since 2015, we have selected an Ohio illustrator to create a special poster for the festival. This year's designer is Cleveland-based author and illustrator Terry Levinson, who happens to be my first very special guest. Welcome, Terry.
Hi, thank you for having me. And I apologize, my internet just kicked out just now, so I had to log off and log on again, but I'm here.
Well, that is great because you just came on. You know, we're right in the section where you and I are going to talk a little bit because, as I've said, you know, this poster is gorgeous. It's so colorful. And I thought the audience would like to know perhaps, where did you, I mean, all we told you to do was, can you create a poster for us? And this Wonderful design is what you came up. How did you happen to pick this illustration and design?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I had a blast doing it. Well, I think it was kind of in my wheelhouse, using panels and sort of a little comic storyline there. I I think I was just inspired by the process of reading. How if you're reading a book that you really connect with, it just kind of sucks you in, and you become part of its world, and all of a sudden you're just immersed, and the characters come to life, and that's what inspired all this. So there you go.
Yes, and of course, reading, as we all know, and everything takes you to places you might never visit, introduces you to people you might never meet. So, and that is one of the great things about books and about an event like the Ohioana Book Festival. Now, I know that you are here this year with Julie Tyler. You want to talk a little bit? This is part of a very popular series that you introduced just a few years ago.
Sure. Truly Tyler is the fifth book in my series. It came out just around this time last year, and it's the first book in my series that features a boy, and it was the first book I wrote during the pandemic. So I had a really hard time with it. I think I rewrote it about 4 times, but once it clicked really well. It's about a boy named Tyler and a girl named Emmy. They were featured in my first book, Invisible Emmy, and they had this wonderful budding friendship. And I wanted to explore that a little bit. So they team up to create a comic book, and they have all these school and friendship challenges along the way, a lot of stuff that middle schoolers can definitely relate to. But what I love about this book is that there's actually a book within it. Within the book, there's a comic book that they've created together, and so I display that in the pages. So it's a really thick book, and I really love the way it came together. So I hope everybody enjoys it.
Excellent. And of course, as you mentioned the series earlier, the Emmy series, and one of your books, Finding Emmy, was on the most recent list of Choose to Read Ohio titles, and you are going to be on the Choose to Read Ohio panel this Sunday afternoon. So we'll be delighted to see you once again. So thank you for designing such a great poster for us. We're just delighted that you will be part of the festival. And I know that everyone is going to want to tune in on Sunday afternoon to see you with your fellow Choose to Read Ohio authors talking about your books and your creative process. So thanks again, Terry. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you Sunday.
Okay, thank you so much, David. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Well, thanks again, Terry. Saturday, let's look ahead to Saturday, may be the last day of April, which is hard to believe, but it's only the second day of the Ohioana Book Festival. Here's what's on tap. We start the day at 11 a.m. with Thrills and Chills for teens and tweens. You know, great novels that that the young adult readers will enjoy with some of our most popular authors. At 12 noon, it's going to be Draw and Tell, a special program for kids with author and illustrator Will Hillenbrand. At 1 p.m., our friends and partners at the Columbus Metropolitan Library will present and host the Ohio Art Road Trip. At 2 p.m., that is followed by The Story of a Life, all about memoir, one of the most popular genre elements. At 3 p.m., it's In the Studio with several authors and illustrators talking about their process. At 4 p.m., we're going to have more poetry with The World in Verse. At 5 p.m., spotlight on middle grade and chapter books for young readers. And then at 6 p.m., a program that I'm looking forward to, introducing Cocktails in Conversation with novelist Thridi Ummergarb, moderated by past Ohio Poet Laureate Dave Lucas. So that's Saturday. Remember, you can learn more about all the panels, related programs, meet all of the authors from the festival pages on our website, www.ohioana.org. I mentioned Ohio Humanities. Ohio Humanities has been involved with the Ohioana Book Festival since it began in 2007. And since 2015 has been our presenting sponsor. My next guest became the executive director of Ohio Humanities just last summer. So this is her very first Ohioana Book Festival. I'm pleased to introduce Rebecca Asmo. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hi, David. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you. And of course, we appreciate so much the support of Ohio Humanities. And I have to chuckle because you are a guest columnist in our spring issue of the Ohioana Quarterly. And you talk about the fact that you had never heard of Ohioana until you became executive director of Ohio Humanities.
I know I feel a little embarrassed admitting that here, but I'm usually all for transparency and honesty. And so I will admit, I had a chance to meet you very early in my tenure. And I'm so glad that I got introduced to the organization. I'm an avid reader. I'm actually, as much as I'd love to be in person, it is nice to be here today from my favorite reading chair where I read every single morning. But what I found so great about Ohioana is that, there's so many books out there to read, and if people are on Bookstagram or wherever they find, their next reads, every day there's multiple new titles coming out. And I really appreciate that Ohioana, amplifies and preserves Ohio's literary tradition and really celebrates the wonderful authors that are either from our state, live in our state, or have spent some significant time here. And I just, I really in the past year, my horizons have been broadened so much by reading some of the books that I wouldn't have read if it weren't for Ohioana. So thank you for that. We are so proud to sponsor this event every single year and look forward to continued partnership in the future.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. And I want to say, in addition to the wonderful support that Ohio Humanities gives to the Ohioana Book Festival, we've talked about the pandemic, and I guess we all know that it affected every individual, family, business, organization, and the Ohioana Library was no exception to that. And thankfully, due to a program called Sustaining Humanities through the American Rescue Plan, we received a special operating grant from Ohio Humanities, which really helped at a very critical time. So I want to say thank you to Ohio Humanities, and to you, Rebecca, to David Merkowitz, all the wonderful staff at Ohio Humanities, because that really was a critical extra helping hand during a very unprecedented time. So thank you, not just for the Ohioana Book Festival, but thank you for seeing us through the pandemic.
Well, of course, and we know, obviously still being here virtual, we know that we're still in recovery from the pandemic. We're still learning how to live with this new way of life. And so Ohio Humanities is definitely committed to continuing to grow our sources of support for public humanities organizations like Ohioana Library, who are on the front lines, making sure that Ohioans have access to, the stories that are going to spark conversation and inspire ideas. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. Hope I'm going to see you at on a panel or something at some point here during the festival, that you will be tuning in and
absolutely,
and enjoying this, because Ohio Humanities is making it all possible. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, Rebecca. Have a great weekend. Before we preview Sunday, which is the final day of the festival, I'd like to thank some of the additional community partners who have helped us with outreach and media. I've already mentioned Choose to Read Ohio, the Cincinnati Public Library, Cover to Cover Books for Young Readers, the Licking County Library, the University of Findlay's Mozzie Museum, the Peggy R. McConnell Art Center of Worthington, the Mercantile Library down in Cincinnati, Ohio Center for the Book at Cleveland Public Library, Ohio History Connection, Ohio Poetry Association, Paragraphs Bookstore in Mount Vernon, and the Central and Southern Ohio chapter of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, Thurber House, the Toledo Lucas County Public Library, and Right Now Columbus. Thanks to all of you. And thanks also to the Ohioana Board of Trustees, 24 dedicated individuals from around the state who generously donate their time, talent, and financial support to advance our mission and programs. And last, but certainly not least, the amazing Ohioana staff who coordinate everything behind the scenes. Catherine Powers, Courtney Brown, and Miriam Nordine. I know dedication. You're an incredible team whose tireless efforts have made this festival a reality. So thank you. So let's take a look at Sunday. It's May the 1st. Can you believe it? May here already. The grand finale of the 2022 festival. And we start with a very special coffee and conversation with Will Haygood at 9 a.m., moderated by the Ohio Channel's Dan Schellenbarger. At 10 a.m., it's Cozy Mystery Corner, followed at 11 a.m. by The Art of Poetry. At 12 noon, another special program just for kids, Art and Stories with Jeff Ebler, followed at 1 p.m. by another program in partnership with Columbus Metropolitan Library called Appalachian Stories. At 2 p.m., Don't Turn Out the Lights. As you can imagine, horror and suspense will be on tap for that. At 3 p.m., I mentioned already the Choose to Read Ohio panel. At 4 p.m., The Wonders of the Natural World. 5 p.m., our last panel. We started the festival with mystery. We're ending with mystery, historical mystery, mysteries that take place and in times other than here and now. So there you have it. 3 fun-filled days with something for readers of every age. We think it's a great lineup, and we hope you agree. A very special thanks to all of our wonderful authors who have been part of this in everything from media and outreach to panel discussions, conversations, and individual author content. The place to go to find out where anything and everything is happening and everything about the festival is on the special Ohioana Book Festival section of our website, www.ohioana.org. I'm going to take a drink. Excuse me. You'll also find there replays of outreach programs presented by our partners, Anthropomorphism in Children's Stories. That's a tough word to say. Presented by SCBWI, the Central and Southern Ohio chapter of the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. Ohio History, presented by the Licking County Library. Kids Love Science, presented by Cover to Cover Children's Books. Stories of COVID-19, presented by the Peggy R. McConnell Arts Center in Worthington. Literary Fiction, presented by Ohio Center for the Book at Cleveland Public Library. And of course, what's neat about the festival being virtual is that even if you miss a particular panel, we're going to be uploading and archiving the entire program online. So once the festival is over, you can watch it whenever you like on Ohioana's channel on YouTube. So if there's a program you missed, or the program that you watched and you'd really love to see it again, that's where you're going to find it. And remember too, you can get a copy of any of the titles by our festival authors from our official bookseller, the Book Loft of German Village, bookloft.com. A portion of every purchase goes to Ohioana to make programs like the Ohioana Book Festival possible. And speaking of the Book Loft, it's time to announce our prize winners. 3 people are going to each win a $25 online gift code to use on the Book Loft website. The 4th person, whose name we call, will not only win a $25 online gift code, but also a pair of tickets to the 2022 Ohioana Book Awards, which will be held live, I promise, at the Ohio State House this October. So I got to get down my handy thing because this was just given to me before we went, so to speak, on the air. So our winners are Pam Hunt, Mitzi Moshiri, Jen Williams, and our grand prize, the person who is going to win both the gift code and the tickets to the Ohioana Awards, Dory Steinhoff. Big hand, big round of applause for all 4 of you. Congratulations. And we'll be getting in touch with you by email after this event is over, just to let you know how to get everything wrapped up and take care and get those thank you gifts. So that about wraps it up. We hope this preview has made you feel as excited as we are for the 2022 Ohioana Book Festival. Our thanks again to everyone for being part of this annual celebration of Ohio books and authors. And my thanks again to the Ohio Channel for letting me use your wonderful facilities. So everyone, Stay safe, take care, enjoy the festival. We'll see you there. Good night.